live 9 to 5 and work his fingers to the bone. Just barely out of school, came from the edge of the town. Fought like a switchblade so no one could take him down. No, he had no money. Oh no, no good at home. Walked the street as a soldier and he fought the war alone. And now it's 18 and live. You got it. 18 and live. You know. Your crime is time is 18 and live to go. 18 alive, you got it. 18 alive, you know. Your crime is time and it's 18 alive to go. Ricky was a young boy, yeah, he had a heart of stone. Lived 9 to 5, and he wore his ways to the bone. Well, hello guys. Good to see ya. Welcome to Black Panther and the Princess, okay? Wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you at, whoever you are, okay? So you have any questions, comment down below, okay? Good to see you guys. This is Yang Kong, okay? Yang Kong. I don't know. My name's Yang, Y-A-N-G, G-O-N-G. Yang Gong. I know a lot of people got confused with my name. So good to see you guys. It's been a while. I haven't, shown my face on this channel, okay? So today, just talk. So you're welcome to join me here on Black Panther and the Princess. Okay, so what am I talking about today? It's about event and life. It's 18 and life, okay? 18 and life. So, America, it's a land of opportunity, land of the free, okay? So anyway, a lot of people, follow. The first question that you guys asked me is when you see me on the screen, you ask me like, where are you from, right? So just to let you guys know, I was from Asia, from Laos, okay? I was from Laos in the 1980s, but now currently I am in America. I am a citizen here already. No, I wasn't born here, but I'm naturalized citizen. So I lived in the northern part of America. So which the state that I lived, it's bordered to Canada. Okay, so we're Canadian. We're Canada's neighbor. Okay, so all the state border Canada is Washington State, uh, North Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan, and New York, right? And then Maine. So all these are the northern states of America, which are considered the cancer state. Maddie, what's up? Yeah, hi. Good to see you. Okay. Uh so this is what I live now. Okay, and my resident is Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota, the state of Minnesota. So it's pretty cold here, and that's why you guys see me got one jacket, t-shirt, first layer, second layer, and then outside. Anyway, how I got here in the U.S. was all because America Vietnam conflict. Maddie said, hope your day goes well and good from the USA. Yes, thank you. Shirley Horn, question. Q. Okay, Q. Okay, thank you. So, it's it was because the American Vietnam War. They don't really consider that war. To America, it's a conflict, but a lot of people will mention that as a Vietnam War because you go to American. You guys remember when you were in high school and you study American history? Have a beautiful day. Otherwise, stay warm. Yes, thank you, Archie and Freeze. Uh, it was never mentioned in the American history book. I remember well in American history when I was in high school, it mentioned a little bit about America got involved with the Vietnam War. I mean Vietnam conflict, but it didn't really explain what the things about. So pretty much similar to the. You guys ever saw Mel Gibson's movie? The We Were Soldiers. Okay, so that would be something that kind of define America and Vietnam. Okay. Glad to see you back streaming. Your story is very much appreciated. Sir Khan. Yes, good to see you again, bro. Or brother or sister. I don't know if you're male or female, but good to see you. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Okay. So, uh, my father. Okay. So because the conflict, uh, my father was killed in the conflict for helping Americans missions in stopping the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Like I talked about this before. So then my mom got remarried to another man. Okay, so whole bunch of little kids like us. I was born in like 71, 72. So yeah, nah. So I was born in 72 around the era at that time. So that was just the middle of the end of the conflict, which is 75 was the complete withdrawal, the American people, American, uh, you know, CIA and the American soldiers and everything from Vietnam to Laos, Southeast Asia, going back home. So I was born in that and got involved with a kid. I remember we were hiding, running from jungle to jungles, place to place, hiding for the Viet Cong, Viet Minh, and the Red Laos, which is also which is the 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 government allows it was the Royal Laos and the Communist Laos. That's what I'm trying to say. Hello, Cindy. Yes, hi to you. Okay, so I was born in the middle of that, in the end, almost the end of it. So remember, I was 3 or 4, 5, 6. We're running. So I born 71. By 1975, I was like 5 years old. You know, 6 years old, and we're running. We're hiding because there's airplanes dropping bombs, boom, 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 almost every day, guys. That's why. That is why you guys kind of learn today that Laos was the most bombed country in the world, right? So anyway, we trekked through the jungle for almost 3 months, try to escape the conflict and become refugees in Thailand. So I got here. I got to the U.S. by my refugee status in orphanage. Okay. So as I was reading the poem from Skid Row, right? You guys know the singer from the 80s, rock and roll Skid Rows. Ricky was a young boy. He had a heart of stone. Live 9 to 5 and wear his fingers to the bone. Remember that song, guys, from the 80s? So I got here in the United States in the 1980s, right about when Michael Jackson was popular, when Madonna was popular, like a virgin. Whew! Okay, so that was Madonna was like a virgin. And I landed in California. I landed in Clovis, California. My plane landed in San Francisco airport. So we went to, I lived in Stockton for like 2 months because the people that sponsor us. Okay. So I let my ass off, leave this little VF stream. Thank you. So anyway, I was just about 2014 when I landed Cali, uh, Sacramento. So straight from Bangkok to San Francisco, uh, Stockton, 2 months, 3 months in Stockton, then went to Clovis, lived in Clovis for a year, then moved to Fresno for a year, then moved to Bakersfield, Colinga, uh, uh, it's 5 points, 5 points, Colinga, Riverdale. Cause I was an orphan. I didn't have any parents, so I came with a whole bunch, uncles. And then when I got to the U.S., they labeled me as an orphan. So I was living with this family for a couple of weeks, like a year, and then living with that family, kind of like really, I had no home. Okay, so just like the Skid Row's song, 18 Alive. So I went to live with one of the uncle because he worked for this farm equipment company. He did a lot of welding. He welds like tractors and big farm equipment. So his job was to repair, to maintain, to take care of this farm equipment. So I was assigned to live with him in the countryside out of Fresno. It was like 1 hour away south of Fresno, close to Bakersfield in Rivers. I went to the high school called Riverdale High School in that area, and came here. I was 14. They threw me right into like uh so was it help me out. What are the people that go to ninth grade? Freshman, right? I was thrown to a freshman class, high school, and zero English. It was tough, guy. It was very very tough. You name it, you guys. So this was the land. This is still the land of opportunity, the land of free. So I had to learn fast and hard because I was turning 18 in 3 years, and that was life. Once I turned 18 in America, they let me go. So anyway, uh, I studied only 4 years of high school there, ninth grade, uh, 10, 11, 12, and the 18 alive. Okay, so it was a very sad life for me at the time. And when I turned 18, I went back to Fresno and I looked around. There was no place for me because there was no job. There's a little job. You either work in a grocery store or things like that. Because my first year in Fresno, that year I was in Fresno, I didn't have any money, anything, and I had a job as a newspaper boy. Okay, that was that was my first job in 1986 to 1987 when I was in Fresno. I delivered the Fresno Bee, as you guys know. So what happened was we got to the city, lived there. I became friends with this other Asian guy, boy, that they're the first, they came to the U.S. earlier, like 1978. So his English was already well established, and he worked as a newspaper boy on that route, about 300 homes. So then one day he told me like, okay, so we're going to move to another state, and I had to leave this job. So I was begging him, I really want your job as a newspaper boy, and could you ask your boss to let me have it? So one morning, his boss came over, and he asked me to join him, and he told his boss that I'd be willing to take the job. He would have, show me how to do it. So that the other Asian guy, Asian friend of mine, who were teenagers, he talked to his boss and he showed me the work, how he was doing, and his boss gave me the job. So I was delivered the Fresno beef for 80, 86, 87 and a half, almost a year and a half before I moved to outside of Fresno. So you guys know what? In America, you have to work hard. As if you're not native here, or you're not American, you're not white. I'm talking about you guys Asian people that you come here or you came here before, you just want to come here in America. Yes, there's a lot of job, there's a lot of company, there's a lot of work. You just had to work hard to uh, maintain a good life here, to have a good life here. Okay, you're not gonna be rich, but you had to work hard. So when I was 18 in life, I saw that I watched around the area where I was living, and I said to myself, "This is not for me." We just hang out, all these kids, all these teenagers after high school, after school, they just hang out and they just become gangsters. And they either go rob, go steal somebody's car stereos, somebody's tire, break in somebody's home, vandalize other people's belongings. So that when I decided that I had to go somewhere else. And at the time, Minnesota was a place I was going to go. So you guys know, uh, I I did not hop the train to Minnesota. Okay, so I know how to drive already. When all those years that I work on the newspaper, each month I was earning about $300-400. Okay, $300 or $400. So I was able to save some money from my newspaper job, and I was able to buy the little Nissan pickup truck, the older one, Nissan Datsun. It was a junky one, but it's driving. So when I turned 18, I took the baby and I left. I hit Highway 99 all the way to Reno and all the way to Minnesota and never turning back. Okay. But I had nobody up here. I know at the time I knew some people up here by my father's side of the family relatives, but I wasn't sure where they live. I kind of heard they lived in Minneapolis, so I wasn't sure because I didn't have their phone number, I didn't have their address, but I knew they're up here. But anyway, my determination was to go to Minnesota. So hop on my little Datsun Nissan pickup truck and hit the highway and took me almost 4 days, 5 days. I was I was surviving by bottle of milk, bottle of water, a pack of bread, and peanut butter, guys. And I had the truck, but I didn't have no money. I had about $500 in my pocket, and that was just for gas. And I didn't know what I was gonna end up in those days. But so I drove all the way Highway 99. I went to Montana, Wyoming, Utah. Oh man, it was scary in those days. There's no cell phone, and when you hit Utah, there were signs of skeleton on the highway. Say from here to there is they put a skeleton. Say it's risky to travel, and you better get extra gas in your car or get a gas container, a couple, 2 gallon container, and haul that behind your truck or your car and go because there's desert and there's long distance, there's nobody there. So anyway, talk about this. There was this joke, right? I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. So one day, this guy was traveling through the desert of Utah, right? And there's no bathroom or anything. So this guy, he is so used to using the toilet, flushing it down. He was never used to dumping it in the wood or anywhere else in the open field, right? So you know how that is. Like I had children, like kids these days that they cannot go and dump in the open area. Kids, they have to have a protected four walls, flushing toilet to go to the bathroom. They cannot go out there and just dump it. So this guy, he's traveling the highway 80s and going through Utah, right in the desert, and then he was like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." Suddenly his stomach is like, there's a devil in his stomach, and he needed to go to the bathroom. The devil is calling him. So he wanted to go to the bathroom, and he looked around. There's nowhere, no gas station, no nothing, and no places. It is an open desert road, and he saw this old abandoned gas station, right? And he's like, "Oh, okay, maybe there's a bathroom there." So he's driving so fast, he pulled over, slowed down, he pulled over to the gas station, looked around, there's nobody around. He went inside, he found a spot that he was gonna dump there. So he went and he squat down and sit down and he dumped. When he's finished dumping, he had no paper, no toilet paper. So he's like, "Oh shit, what should I do now?" So he wet his ass with his fingers, right? And then after that, he's like, no water, no nothing, no toilet paper. What should I do? So He looked around. There's a old wall there, and then there's a writing this, and there's a hole in the wall. And he said, and that writing says, if you want to wipe your fingers, stick your finger into this hole, right? And then he's like, have a second thought. He's like, okay, look at his fingers, you know, he's hanging there. He's like, what the hell? So he stick his fingers in the wall, and then he heard something snap, bang. He, it hurts, right? And he's like, oh shit! He licked his fingers. So you guys know what I mean. Anyway, that was scary, and when I was traveling highway 80s, that was 1989, guys, 1990. So anyway, I traveled through Utah, Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa. I went to Minnesota, took Highway 35 north. So when I got to Minneapolis. I got out. I was like, where are the Asian people? Where's the Asian family that I'm looking for? So I got to downtown Minneapolis, got out of the highway, get out of downtown. I look around. All I see is black people. See a lot of black Americans. I didn't see so many white outside either because Minneapolis, it was a resident of most of the residents that live in Minneapolis are black Americans, black people. And that was Prince, you know, purple rain. Remember Prince? He always dressed in purple, and he was in the 80s. He was really popular. So talk about Prince, guy. I got a chance to work with Prince manager uh, from 2006 all the way to 2010. Okay, so I worked in this company, right? And I was a machine tech. I my job was to maintain 8 machines, kind of like pouch making machines and kind of like CNC machines. So being that I was kind of technical in my mind and the skill that I worked and I had, my job was to maintain these 8 machines, and they have operators that run these machines. But my job was the lead machine. Okay, I was the lead. So whenever they have problems, because I know all these machines, I know how to troubleshoot, and because my experience with it. So yeah, I worked there as a lead, and then one day, these old guys showed up, and he and his buddy show up. His buddy, okay, so uh, his name, I think his name was Terry, right? Uh, I didn't know at the time, so they came to work as packagers. What it means is that the machine is processing these laminate materials, making pouch out of it. You guys know those zipper bags where they put jerky, beef jerky, and all those dry fruit in it with a zipper. Okay, so I worked in that plant and like as a machine tech. So one day Terry and his friend showed up, and they were working as packager at the end of the machines. Then suddenly later on, like time passed, I get to know him, and he's a little darker. He's a little darker in skin, but he really admire the Asian martial art and culture. So he spoke Korean and he spoke Japanese fluently. Okay, so the thing is, his father was Japanese and his mother is black, and his father grew up in South Chicago and married to a black woman. So his mother's black and his father's Japanese. His father was a soldier, a military POW rescuer. So his father is really good at martial art, right? Terry's father. So what he's telling me is he had an older brother that was in he looked more Japanese, but his older brother is more into black life than Japanese culture. But he's got the darker color, but he's more into Asian culture than his older brother. This is what happened. So they grew up in South Chicago, and he taught me a lot of stuff that when you go to South Chicago, South Side Chicago, that's when he grew up. He taught me a lot of things that what should I not do and what I should do or what I should not travel. I mean, where I should not travel in Chicago. Okay, so yeah, I learned a lot of things from him. But the thing is, he was Prince manager. Okay, so he moved to Minneapolis in the early 80s, 70s. And he and Prince and his buddy that I was there, and then a whole bunch other, and they were friends before Prince became very popular and played the guitar and became Purple Rain. So he managed the first, like from the early 80s, 70s, late 70s to early 80s, all the way till 87, 88, when Prince became very popular. And when he was singing that song for Batman, the new Michael Keaton King Basinger uh, movie, the Batman. Okay, uh, that movie where Prince was singing. That's where he was fired as a manager. Okay, Prince fired him. So what he told me is that they he managed the beginning of the Prince career, and they became like popular, had a lot of money. They co-write a whole bunch of songs, and they party too much in the 80s, and then they end up in Cali, and they spent too much money on drugs, and the hippies, marijuana, all those days, you name it, coke. So they ended in Cali, and then Prince got more famous. So now they got other people that interested in Prince. So Prince decided that he let his buddies, this guy, because there's too much drugs going on. Prince did not want him to be messed up. So Prince let him go. That's why he became jobless. And after that, he became a normal person, just like us, working place to places. And Prince moved on. But that's why he ended up in 2007. He ended up working with me in this manufacturing plant when I was just fixing machines. Okay, so yeah, and he told me that now and then he still receives royalty, okay, royalty of money from Prince in like in the 2000s because they co-write a song. So whenever Prince song was played on commercial or play on TV, or whenever anybody sings that song, he gets money, percentage like from that song. So like actors and models, they do get something like that, or songwriters, they get some royalty compensation from the song. Okay, so anyway, Terry was. I went to his house once, and he always sit in his backyard. Is It has a little Japanese garden in his backyard, and he meditated for hours. Sometimes he's sitting there, he's like, num, 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 for hours without talking or doing anything. So, yeah, so 2010, the company closed down and they moved to Chicago. So I moved along with them to Chicago. I worked there for 2 years before I moved back to Minnesota. Okay. Anyway, guys, sidetrack a little bit, just tell you a little story there, but that was 18 alive. So up to downtown Minneapolis, I drove another hour north. So I went past St. Paul, Minnesota, up to Forest Lake, and I didn't have place to sleep, so I slept in the back of my truck, and I was in the resting area, bathroom or parkings. So then when I woke up in the morning, I started looking the yellow page or the white page. Back then there's a phone book in the payphone, right? So I started looking at all uh these relative, these monkeys, these Hmong people that live in Minneapolis and St. Paul. So my last name is Yang Kong Yang, right? So my last name is Yang, and I start looking at the Yang people, and guess I see people with the last name Yang, and I was like, okay, so I have to call some of these people. They should know they should know some of my relatives. So then I start flipping the page. I got a phone number and I call this lady. Her last name is Yang. It's like, okay, say hello. Do you know this such a name? Okay. I gave one of the relatives' name. And she's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They live across the street. We live in the same complex across the street. And I was able to maintain that phone number on that relative because she gave it to me. So I called my relative, and then they know who I am. So then I had to drive all the way back. I drove back 1 hour away back to Minneapolis, and I finally came to their resident and stay with them. And then I looked for a job, and then I got a job in the city there, working in the manufacturing plant. And ever since then, that's what I was, survive and work hard. Sometimes I work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And I look for other job, like second job, to maintain my life till this day, people. So American dreams coming to America. Okay? Coming to America, the land of the free. Okay? Do you guys still want to come to America? Okay? So if you any Asian people in here that watching me, you live in either Malaysia, Laos, Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, or friendly, Korean, China. Okay, you still want to come to America? Okay, so it's a land of the free, but you will be abused because the color of your skin. So if you have a country, you might as well better to stay in your country. Don't come to America. I came here because I had no choice. The American people brought me here. Okay, and the American government brought me here. Otherwise, I would have, if they do not go to Southeast Asia and have the Vietnam American conflict, they won't have the Vietnamese over here. They won't have the Laos people here. They won't have the Hmong people here. They won't have all these Asian people that had no place to go and they end up in America. And now today, these people become a burden to the America. And that's why Donald Trump rise and he wanted to deport all these people that came here and back to where they came from. Uh, so these people would have stay Southeast Asian. They will have they will have to stay in place, and they wouldn't have to come over here. But because America went over there, it's Kennedy's tried to stop communism, right? Nixon tried to end the war. Then Carter messed up the whole plan. So uh, they had to take all these refugees because they messed up in Southeast Asia. Otherwise, you will only have Japanese, Filipinos, and the early Chinese railroad uh, constructors, workers that live here, plus the Indians as Asians. But because American interests try to stop communism, I'm not sure that was the thing because there's nothing in Southeast Asia for them. There's no oil, there's no diamonds, there's gold, but there's no diamond minerals. So I still do not understand till this day why Americans were over there. It's because Russia, because they're afraid of Russia, that Russia will implement their communism belief, their practice in Southeast Asia, and then they're afraid all these Southeast Asian or all these Asian countries, will side with Russia. Is that what they're afraid of? You know, do not know. Okay, so I I am here. I was here. I came here. I am here today, and I have children that are born here. I am a good citizen. I try to maintain a good life, not mess up my life here, not mess up with the rule, the law, and the system here. I will live my life abiding to the rule and the law of the land here in the U.S. Okay, that means I don't go hunting illegally. Okay, not like a lot of hunters. You see, I used to hunt when I was little. When I was 7, 8 years old, I learned how to hunt squirrels, rats, birds, fish in the river. But then when I came to America, I did not need to do that. I hunt still, but in the supermarket or the supermarket, there's always something there for me to go hunt. That means I go to work hard and go buy them. Why go waste my time and waste money and go hunt? And the color of my skin, if I go hunting, there's a very high chance of me becoming Chai Wang. Chai Wang in 2004, he went hunting in Wisconsin. He wandered into the private property, whatever. He went to the sit on somebody's deer stand, and he was harassed by this family. And he walked away, but they chased after him, and then he thought they were shooting him. So then he was a ex military sharpshooter, so he turned around and killed 6 white Wisconsin white people. I think they took him to prison, and uh, I don't know what happened to Chai Wang. So when I look to events like this that happen in life, I stay away from this trouble thing. I look at the color of my skin, my hair, my structure, and I try to not go into a place like that. Example, if I'm Asian like this, if I move to a neighborhood like on the countryside, the suburb, way in the suburb somewhere, right? And there's no diversity, no diversity of people. And it's all maybe a white community. And if I'm an only Asian family and I move to live in that area, you know that something's gonna happen one day. Okay, so why you move there? Why you go buy a house there? You gotta have home invasions. You gotta have all this racism. You gotta have all this. Why this Asian move to this community? These are things that you have to be proactive, be precautions about it, think about it before you move into certain area in the United States. So if you live in Minneapolis and St. Paul, there's a diversity here. We have black, Asian, Indian, Hispanic, Indians, and, Native Indians, Irish, German, Russian, Vietnamese, Hmong, not too many Chinese here. It's a diversified region that you can live and would work together and deal with each other. Instead, you move into a remote area, so you have to understand all these things when you move to America. Okay, guys. Racism always happen anywhere. Even in my own community, they have racism against other people. Okay, I was racist. Not I'm not a racist, but I was being racist. People racist against me. Okay, so for example, this is a thing that happened to me. So when I first came to America and I was a teenager, there's a lot of kids that always pick the fight with me every day, even like the Mexicans, the Latinos. I went to the school with 99% Latino and 1% white, and I was the only Asian. But every day I was picked and fight in the baseball field or in the gym, anywhere. They always picked a fight with me because they thought I was Bruce Lee and knew martial art, but really I did not know anything. I didn't even know Bruce Lee at the time. Okay, so I was picked up, harassed every day in my life. That's okay. I do not have any. I am a man with no country. So if I go to somebody's land, live in somebody's country, I had to respect the rules. Even though I was abused a little bit, I cannot have the rights like the people that are there. So in America, I'm an Asian with no country. So I have to be underprivileged. I don't have the privilege like the white people here, the American that are here. I have less privilege. So to survive, I just gotta, you know, do what I have to do to survive, guys. And even though they have harsh words for me and call me you fucking chink, you rice patty, you gook, uh, you rat eaters, all these things, that's fine. I had to eat to survive during that time because you start a war into the Southeast Asia. You start the war. You came over there and bombed the whole fucking country into, pit holes, into shit holes, into big, and you kill all the animals. You dropping bomb from the air, boom, 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 every day, and then you. So now I am, I you taught my people to turn against my people. You turn us against each other, and now we became enemy of the state. So now when you leave, we gotta have sufferings. We gotta be killed because we turn against our own people. So now I have to go to your country and be your slave, work for you, and be all of that. that's the land of the free, land of opportunity. So then, yeah, it's okay. You harass me. You have racism against me because I'm here. But like I said, because your government interest, you do not stop your government. Now, it is also your fault. The country is run by the people. Okay, run by the people. Okay, so you do not take care of your government, and now you brought me here, even though your government caused the damage, the hatred, the refugees, all these things, but it was you that did not stop the conflict, and you vote for it. You vote for it. Now, this tragedy, you had to bear the burden. Now you're angry because you had to take care of these people. Uh, it's a mess anyway. But giving you guys things, about racism. Okay, so I was me and my wife was driving, visiting like the monuments, the presidents, the monuments in South Dakota, the Black Hills, and Crazy Horse, and where is it? General Car. What's his name? Carter. You guys know what I'm talking about. The general. What guy's name? Okay, the guy that he was butchered in North Dakota, in South Dakota, up in the Black Hills. Uh, General Custer. Now I got it. General Custer, right? He and Crazy Horse had the battle on the Little Big Horn in Montana, right? And he and his through 200 or 300 men were all executed by the Indians up in Black Hills over there, right? So I went to visit there and travel Montana to up to like Idaho up. And you guys, so one night it was getting like about 10 p.m. Me and my wife still driving on the highway going to Montana, right? So there's a city called I forgot the name, but there's a city in Montana close to I think it was in Bering, Montana. So it was getting late, and we were driving, and I was trying to reserve a hotel in that city. So I called on the phone on Motel 8, and the receptionist is like, yes, we had 3 rooms open. Okay. And I was like, okay, reserve one for me. So I gave the asking for credit card number. So I provided the credit card number to her. And then 10 minutes later, she called me back. Say, hey, I am sorry, but we had no room left. And I was like, okay, so 10 minutes ago, you said you had 3 rooms. How come now, 10 minutes later, you saying that you had no rooms left? What's going on? And she's like, oh, yeah, it's a mistake. We have nothing left for you. And right away, I was like, what's going on? And my last name's Yang, so maybe they thought I was Chinese. So Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho, those areas, not too many Asian people lives up there. So Wyoming was the place Chinese lynching, right? Remember they killed all the Chinese and harassed all the Chinese, and they had to flee back in the 1800s. The community of Chinese was wiped out in Montana and Wyoming. The You guys go to history, you learn all of that stuff. So there's no Chinese living in Wyoming in the eight. Anyway, so they probably think that I was Chinese, and they didn't really like the Chinese people. Me too. I don't really like the Chinese either, because we're like the Jewish to the Chinese people. We're were exterminated by the Chinese. That's why we end up in America, in the end up in Laos in the first place anyway. We're Mongols, Mongolians tribes. So as you know, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, descendant of those families. That's who I am. So anyway, so I told my wife, let's drive to that place and go talk to the lady in person. Right. So we drove all the way to that city up in Montana and drove all the way to the Motel 8, go inside, talk to the lady. The lady, I walk in, I walked right in. I was like, okay, so do you have any room open? She's like, oh, yeah, yeah, we have 3 rooms open now. Right. And I told her straight in the face, I said, so why you have 3 rooms? I called you earlier when I was on the road to reserve the hotel here, your hotel, one of your room. And then you told me you had 3 rooms. And I gave me your credit card, and now you called me back and said you had no room left. So now I'm drove right into your hotel, and now you have rooms. You're racist, okay? Anyway, even though you have rooms, I'm not gonna stay here. It's. So we just walked out, told her right in the face. We walked out, and there's a bigger hotel. Okay, so now it's a hotel. It's a big, like, 4-star hotel across the street. We drove right over there. It was like $300 a night, but Motel 8 is just like $89 a night. Anyway, we pay more, but we went and stay in the big hotel anyway, instead of the Motel 8. Okay, so that's racist, right, guys? When they see your last name, they thought you're Asian. Okay, my last name is Yang. There's a lot of Chinese has a Yang last name, but I am not Chinese. Okay, there's Korean that has the same last name Yang. There's Myanmar, you know, Burmese that have Yang. Uh, my people also have last name Yang. Okay, so anyway, that's encounter racism. Okay, guys, but anyway, thank you guys for watching me. Okay. This is free talk. Okay, I'm like a talk show person here, and freestyle talking. So I can throw a lot of stuff here, and when you listen, you're like, maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm intelligent, maybe I'm smart, or maybe I was right, or maybe I'm wrong. But I'm just a YouTuber, guys. I go live talking to maybe a lot of things I'm bringing to you here is more like personal issues, or maybe in generally uh, Asian issue, people's issues. Okay, so just let you guys know, I voted for Donald Trump. Okay, just let you know. You see my history, my videos. I'm not sure this channel or the other channel. I holding Donald Trump's side. Okay, uh, I am a conservative person. Try to save money. Try to live a life in the own, to try to be conservative, be preserving. So Donald Trump is a conservative, is a businessman. So I have a mind like that. So then there are other issues that should not be fair, like it's not fair to a lot of people. But it's like this. I came to America. I started my newspaper job when I first got here, spoke no English. So I work, go to school, and I've been working ever since. Working hard to maintain my life here in the USA. It's an American dream, and it's land of the free. So I am free to go everywhere I want to go. Okay, land of the free to speak my thoughts. Okay, free to roam the land here, free to go anywhere I want to do, work in any place I want to work. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you so there's a lot of things that impact a lot of you guys, your family, out there, but I believe this way, guys. The only way a lot of people want to come to the U.S. for free food, free money. So the thing that Donald Trump's doing now is keep people where they belong. If you always look at where the fruit is and you want to go there and take the fruit, you will be lazy. You will not be working on your own. So like you in a country, let's say Laos, let's say Argentina, let's say what is it, Colombia. Okay, let's say you in El Salvador. Because the government there do not try to resolve your issue. The people there do not try to cooperate, resolve, take care of their own problem. They always want to run, run, run. Wherever the grass is greener, they want to run there like a herd of animals to eat the green grass. Okay, that it's not a way of life, unless you have situations. No matter how terrible your country is, it's better to be on your own, be with your own people who spoke your language, and be with each other, take care of each other. So what Donald Trump's doing is put people in place. Stop moving around the world. Stop going to the grass is green. Establish your own business and relation between countries. And we trade and we do business. It's better that way. We trade. You have what I need. I have what you need. We trade, things like that. And instead of pouring into one country, so the U.S. is using a lot of resource to help other countries to be policing them to pay what is it to pay them and then keep them quiet or keep them in peace or whatever. uh I don't know, guys. What I see Donald Trump's doing is that just to keep us in place, and you had to work your way out. Even though, like you in America, you had to work to live, to earn, to live, to establish yourself. You can't go on a welfare, depend on a medical assistant, and depend on the government to support you. And if you do that, then you're taking resource from the government, and the government, it's not doesn't matter which government it is, they don't like it. Even China don't like it. Okay, so like Kennedy said, it's not what your country can do for you. It is what you can do for your country. All right, so uh I know it's a trade war right now. Like Donald Trump deported a lot of people. Even some of my people will be deported down the road because they committed crime, they did bad things here in the U.S. Uh, those of you who came here illegally, like you enter the country illegally, you should go home. Uh, should not be arrested or do that. Uh, like me, I did not come here illegally. Okay, I came here through because the U.S. went to Vietnam and started the war there, and then after the American left, the Vietnamese were exterminating my people. So we're afraid to be, and then we had to flee the country, and then we end up as refugees. And then the U.S. sponsored us to come here because that we had no country to go. We had no country. Well, a people with no country. We're like the gypsies. Okay, so my people is like the gypsy in Europe, in India. We had no place to go. So the US was able to take us Hmong people here to the US and here. But then some of the people, came here also committed crime, and they don't have place to go. Uh, the government in the country origin, and they do not want these people back either, because they think that these people are sided with the U.S. and they betrayed that country, that people in that, so can't go back either. So what should they do? Kill them? What should they do with these people that commit this crime? Well, how come the U.S. don't kill them? If they have no place to go and they remain here, they're criminal. Why can't they just, put them in lethal injection, throw them in prison and kill them, feed it to the animal? Oh no, we can't do that. It's human rights issues. See, so it becomes a burden to the U.S. So America, it's in 39 trillion in debt, right? So it just like keeps going deeper and deeper in debt. So that's why Donald Trump's doing all this to bring the U.S. back. Otherwise, the U.S. economically will go down in history. So it's a very mean thing to do, but I don't know. Uh, I'm sure, after 4 years, everything will be reversed if it doesn't work out. So what I'm saying out here, guys, give Donald Trump a chance to do what he wants to do, and maybe it will change. If it's not, we can go back to vote Democrats and change back to where it was, and never know, right? So no hard feeling, no mad, no angry, no anger management. Okay, uh, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so 18 in life. This is how you guys do it. I can do it, so you guys can do it. I was kicked out of the place when I was 18. I headed to a road of no return, uh, a place unknown. Okay, always do not be afraid. Okay, you wanna go somewhere, you wanna be there. Do not be afraid. Like this, what is it? This I read this article a long time ago. Like this uh, Argentinian, he wrote this passage. He's like, "My friend, the train, the train is leaving. If you want to be part of this, you better hop on the train. If you're not, you are left behind, and you will not see the future." Okay, so land of the free. Okay, land of opportunity. You had to hop on the train to be there. So I've been hopping ever since I was a little kid, guys. Vietnam War came. I was born. My father died helping rescue the American pilots. Okay, in the plane of Jaw. My father was killed in the plane of Jaw in Laos, from defending American interests, for helping the American CIA, for protecting the communication towers in what is it, Pati in Phu Bia, Laos, for all that. I hopped the train from trekking through the jungle with poisonous snakes, with uh, giant centipedes, with hungers. We had to eat tree bark, whatever we find a road, cockroach, bugs, insects, crickets, night crawlers. You mean it? I ate them in my life. Okay, treacherous journey crossing the Mekong River in raft, facing with abuse when we crossed through Thailand. Many people died down the Mekong River, uh, living in a torturous encampment camp in Thailand, and journey to the west, being harassed, abused, uh, all those things, living a life of uneducated, low paid job, okay? Work 3 times harder than the white kids, the white people here, and get less pay, you name it, okay? But it's a journey for me. Always hop on the train and go, just about survival, okay? Uh, so you can do it. You know, I can do it. You can do it. Right now, I'm not. I'm still suffering, but it's better than to live in a place where they always hate you, that you betray your country, that you left your country, that your parents were helping the American killing the Viet Cong, the Vietnamese, and their people, killing your own kind, defending America, where you're labeled as enemy of the state, descendant of the enemy of the state. Okay, so if you leave your country, you betray your own people. Okay, your government is bad, but you left your country. Okay, because you're afraid, because you seeing the grass is greener on the other side of the river, and you hop through, you jump up, you raft through the river to go eat the grass on the other side. You betray your own country, you betray your own people. Instead of remain your country and help each other and build your own country, you are your enemy of your state. You guys get it? So anyway, 18 alive. The American Vietnam conflict has brought a lot of people into orphanage and suffering and death, and like all those boat people, Vietnamese, all those in the Philippines. So you guys know, okay, so America have an interest, and they do what the American government have the interest of doing what they think is right for them. That's called American interest. So, as you remember, in Vietnam, they came over there to Vietnam, and their idea was to keep. Uh, before that it was the Chinese Mao Zedong and with the Chiang Kai-shek thing, and American want to help Chiang Kai-shek, the founder of Taiwan and the Manchuria, and they want to help these people beat Mao Zedong and take over China, right? Well, it didn't work out, so they try to implant or help Chiang Kai-shek, but then in the end, they left Chiang Kai-shek. They had no place to go, so they didn't. American didn't really want to help, so they fled to Taiwan. So then they try to help the South Korean beat up North Korean. So now they never finished the thing and they pulled back. So they went to Vietnam and try to help the South Vietnam beat up the North Vietnamese. There's almost end up like South Korea, North Korea, Peninsula. Never finished the job. Left Vietnam alone. Caused tremendous death, suffering, hatred until these days. They went to Iraq, right? Try to help the Kurds beat out Saddam Hussein's people, the Sunnis and the Shia. Left the Kurds in the mountain, or remember the first Desert Storm, where George Bush, okay, George Bush Jr. started. I mean, Senior, George Bush Senior, Operation Desert Storm. All these Kurds were left because they recruited the Kurds by CIA to fight the Sunnis, Muslim, Sunni Iraqis. And the American left and they abandoned those people and their hunger. They be tortured by Saddam Hussein all their life. So now it's repeating again. Ukraine or Russia fucking mess around with Ukraine, try to implement their ideas, democracy, democracy, democracy to the Ukraine people. Now they're in a mess. I'm pretty sure they're gonna abandon Ukraine again. So that's how American interest works. When they want something, they try to help you. They don't want anything, they leave you. So you just like your illegal immigrants, your migrant workers. When they need you, you'll be here. Now the technology is advancing, AI it's on the rise. Machine can do your job, so they don't need you. You go back to your country, okay? Your migrant workers. Understand? That's how life is. So that's it would you listen to me talk, and it's not I don't hate America, okay? This is my country now. But that's what the government is doing. I have no country. I am an old man with no country, people. I am an old man with no country. If I had a country like you guys, I won't want to be here. I would stay in my own country. Okay? So this is modern day slavery. You work in a manufacturing production, you're low educated, you work there 7 days a week, wait till 75, you die, and the government will rob you, take all your social security, take all your money, okay? Before they let you die, they must sure they rob you to the bone. Okay, let's say you're an old man right now and you're getting sick, they won't let you die. If they know you have social security money left, if you have money in the bank, if you have retirement money in your 401k, and they will rob you. They will steal your house, your car, your everything. The government will take away. So this is modern slavery. Okay, you work here, you in the U.S. Okay, and this is a modern day communism in America. Everything it's controlled by law. Everything's controlled by law. Okay, so you live in Southeast Asia in the jungle, in the Philippines, Indonesia. You go to the wood, you chop a tree down to build your house. It's fine. Here, you cannot go to the U.S. You cannot go into the wood, chop down a whole bunch of tree and take it home. It's illegal, protected by the forestry, by the DNR. Over there in Asia, you can go to the river and catch fish with no license. Here in the U.S., you have to get a fishing license before you can go to the lake or river, take a fish out of there. You understand? So what is communist? Communist is control the people. So what it's in America, modern day communism. Anyway, guys, it's been 1 hour, 19 minutes, 20 minutes, and I hope some of you guys still listening. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you a story. 18 alive. So a couple years back, I was traveling in Southeast Asia, and then I ended up in Chiang Mai, Thailand for like 2 weeks. Then I took the bus from Chiang Mai to the bus station in Bangkok, and it took me all night. So when I got to Bangkok, I was going to the airport to catch a flight going back home to the U.S. So I landed in a bus station. My destination ended up in Bangkok, the big bus station there. It was like 3 in the morning. So I got out of the car, right? Out of the bus. And, in Thailand, when you get out of the bus or in the train anywhere, there are like taxi drivers, line up, try to snatch you, try to take you as a customer. So then I got out of the bus station, got outside the bus station, and this taxi driver came to me and like, so where you going? Right? He spoke in Thai language because he noticed I was Asian also, so he thought that I spoke. He thought that I spoke Thai, but which I do a little bit. I can travel with no problem in Thailand. So anyway, he's like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Go to the airport, international airport." He's like, "Okay, I willing to take you." And then we negotiate a price. And as we were driving down the highway to the airport, I look at him and he looked more like me, but he's a little short, smaller guy. So I asked him, excuse me, are you Mongols? He said, yes, yes. And I said, okay, so how do you end up as a taxi driver here? And then he was telling me his story. Okay, he's like, well, so in 1974, before the American pulled out of Vietnam, there are these Thai military that it was based in Long Cheng, Laos. So as you guys know, during the Vietnam conflict in Long Cheng, General Wang Pao and his 3,500 strong military soldiers, they're there. But then they also had the Korean, the Indians, and the Thai soldiers paid by the CIA to also come over there and establish base in the base military bases along the Ho Chi Minh Trail and the mountains. So when American decided to pull back, go back home, these Thai people, Thai military also going home. So this Hmong guy that was driving the taxi driver told me that during that time he remembered that he was just like 8 years old, and he had a sister and no, he had three sisters, another brother, and his parents. But he was working with these Thai people by washing dishes for them, or cooking for them. So when the Thai military left Longchamp, Laos to go back to Thailand, they took he was hiding in their trucks, and so they when they got into Thailand, they took him with them to Thailand. So then one of the military personnel ended up raise him up in Thailand, in the northern part of Thailand. And as he grew up, he forgot all about his parents. He remembered them like a dream, he said. But in his bloodline, he's Mongols. And then when he grew up with his Thai family, uh, this military guy, he grew up and then he married to a Thai wife, and then he moved to Ayutthaya, Thailand, which is not 2 hours from Bangkok. But he came to Bangkok to work as a taxi driver. So then we're talking, and he kind of looked like he had the same color skin like me, and then the structure I can tell he's Mongols. So, and that was a story that no matter, it was sad. I asked him if he wanted me to come back to the U.S. and try to spread, his message. See his parents and his sisters and his brother, you know, uh, still remembers him. But he said, I don't want to do that anymore because I live in Thailand now, and the Thai people only know me as Thai. If I suddenly and now I'm going to tell them that, oh, I had a family that went to the U.S. or maybe it was from Laos, is a Mongol family, and they probably still think of me as a low class. Uh, they look down on me and harass me and abuse me or don't like me or maybe tell me to go back to my country when I belong and my citizenship would be wiped out. I mean, they tell me that I'm not Thai enough. I'm not Thai enough. I'm not a real Thai person, Thai people. So he decided that he don't want me to spread the word and he didn't want to tell nobody. He will remain as a Thai person because when he lived in Ayutthaya, he's a Thai citizen now. He was raised by a Thai family, so now he's Thai. So he doesn't want to go back to his Mongol life. You see what I mean, guys? The reason I bring this story to you is just like the people here in America. So in America here, American they look at an Asian person and they always automatically thinking that, oh, that's Vietnamese, that's Chinese, that's Chinese, that's Chinese, that's Japanese, that's Japanese, okay, or that's Vietnamese, that's Vietnamese, because for them in their eyes, all Asian are the same. Maybe they're the same category. What they do not understand is in Asia there's so many countries and so many ethnicities in Asia. So because the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor without any notification to the U.S. government, they hated the Japanese. Okay, because the Chinese Mao Zedong led them to communism and side with China, side with Russia, they automatically enemy to them. So they don't like the Chinese. Because 58,000 Americans died in the Vietnam conflict, which, I mean, the Vietnamese do not start the war with the U.S. It was the U.S. government went there to try to be heroes, try to spread the democracy to the Southeast Asian country of Vietnam, caused a tremendous earthquake, so many lives wasted in Vietnam, and because of 58,000 Americans died, and then another 100,000 came back with this PTSD, uh, and they came back and they killed their own family here in the U.S. Everything was to be blamed to the Vietnamese, and then they're labeled as uh, enemy to the Americans. So they don't like it. So these are the three: Japanese, Chinese, and Vietnamese. These are the three group Asian that American really hate because they had a conflict with. But we, as Mongol, we're not Vietnamese. We're not Japanese. We're not Chinese. We just happen to live in those countries as minority. Now, because you come over there, you do all these things. Now we are messed up too, and then we show up in your country as refugee, and then you like, damn Chinese, damn Vietnamese, damn Japanese. We were on your side, bro. We're helping you rescue your pilots. We're helping your CIA. We're on your side. Now we're enemy to those people. You had to love us, take care of us. Your brothers. We look different, but we're brothers. So don't don't think that okay, you see me on the street and I'm Chinese. No, I hate the Chinese as much as you do. Because in history, we're always fighting with the Chinese. You see what I mean? And you have to understand that it's very hard for a white person in America to identify you as an Asian, that you belong to a certain group. Okay, it's very difficult. It's not like Asian. Like I can identify you in what group of Asian you are. If you're Mongols, I can tell right away you're Mongols. One, by the clothes you dress. Two, by the food you eat. Three, by the language you speak. Okay? Four, by the structure of your face. Five, by the community you're in. Okay? If you ask, you will find out who I am or who he is, who she is. So I can easily identify as you as Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Japanese, or Thai or Filipinos. You see? But for the folks in America, they don't see it that way. You automatically Chinese. Okay? Like they will see me as a Chinese. So ignorance, uneducated. America do not put us in their history books. So the mainstream, the majority of the people here in the U.S. have very knowledge of different group of Asian. Okay, but today with Google, with YouTube, with AI intelligent, with AI, with all these media that expose all this culture, all these people, all this. I hope the American educate themselves and change their feeling on their thought and their thinking of these Asian people that don't misidentify us. Like me as a Mongol, I lived, I was born in Laos, but Laos is part of Southeast Asia. You get a, I was born there, so you can label me as Southeast Asian. But my ancestry is we're East Asian. We used to live. My family ancestry used to live in China, northeast, the very far east, Siberia. That little Manchuria area where the Chinese land, where the Russia is currently part of Russia right now, but it's Asian. Like Putin, the leader of Russia, he's got Asian blood. Okay, as you guys learn, he's little short guy. He's the same height as Kim Jong Un of North Korea, and then both buddies. Okay, but in reality, in bloodlines, Putin has Asian blood in him. For what my understanding is that his mom or his dad, it's part of the Asian East Asian, and one of his parents is Russia. So anyway, I hope this educates you guys a little bit. You know, maybe I talk too much. It's been 1 hour 30 minutes, so I just want to say, you guys, wherever you are, wherever you live, whoever you are, there's always going to be hatred, racism, economical problem, deportation, exploitation, uh, good and evil, bad and good, evil uh, thing going on. So love yourself, take care of yourself, and understand the world, and work hard in your life. No, doesn't matter where you are, and always live by the law of the land that you live in. As my people said, when you're in wanna say mong nho luôn du cái tài nho luôn du young luôn su nè nho luôn tế cái water luôn chai á okay you vì you yon nâng cái luôn to you ya luôn tài tròn sai xí nè okay so what it means is you live in somebody's country you had to adjust yourself to the people there, not them adjusting to you. If you live in the land, in the country, and you live in the land of the people that lives there, you have to adjust yourself to fit them, not them adjust themselves to fit you. If you live in that country, you have to abide the law of that country, not your law where you bring from your own country. You guys get it? It's because you're a man with no country. You live in you borrow, you you borrow their land to raise your sheep. Okay? You borrow their house, their food, their whatever to raise your people, your kids. So in that case, you need to be with that. Let's say you're from Somalia and you come to the US and your law, your rule or your law in Somalia say you had to wrap the veil around your face. And the women had to wear that clothing and wear that thing like a ninja. Okay, like a woman ninja or like a ninja guiding or a super ninja. Well, that country where you're from, yes, that was the law. But you into the US, now it says you cannot do that because your label, they want to know who you are. You can be killing somebody, burglarize somebody, and cannot identify you. So and then this country, women are in bikinis, and that's fine. So if you wear like that around you and you expect this woman here to be like you, to wrap their face around like you, then you should not be here. You should go back to the country where you came from and follow that thing in your country. If the American woman goes to your country and they don't wrap their face around with the veil, then they're breaking the law, the rule, and the regulation in your country. So you have the right to uh, arrest them or whatever consequence they have to deal with, right? So it depends on who where you at. This is what I'm looking at. So you want to come to America, live in the land of the free, land of opportunity. You hear there's so many jobs why you're not doing it. Why you go rob somebody? Why you go rape somebody? Why you go steal somebody? Why you go vandalize somebody's property? Okay, illegally. You here, you want to be free. Yeah, you're free to wear bikinis, walking around in your house naked. You're free to do what you want. Why you here, you still wrap around yourself like a mommy. That's why you're here, because you want to be free. All right, so these are the things that people don't understand it, okay? So anyway, I'm going to leave it right here. So I want you guys to know, I want to thank you guys for watching me, for listening to my crazy talking here on Here Life. And I appreciate so much. I love you guys. And we'll see you guys next time, okay? Peace.